Everybody, my name is Julia, and we start the Unicorn Battle in Silicon Valley. Happy to be here and to see everybody. So, and now I'd like to give a word to our CEO, Anna Fedorova. Anna, please.
Thank you, Julia. And this is great to be here today because Unicorn.Events, being the world's largest startup pitch contest, is nothing without the Silicon Valley event. And we are here today to discover who is the best startup in the Silicon Valley, great enough to present Bay Area in the world contest, because in a week we're gonna have the world finals and all our events. This season are happening thanks to our sponsors, platinum sponsor, Silicon Valley Syndicate Club, golden sponsor, Network VC California Seed Fund, and silver sponsor, VC House. Our events are taking place all over the world, and we are the world largest by the geography and the number of the events held already. And the winner of today's Unicorn Battle in Silicon Valley will pitch live at the Unicorn Cup Finals just in a week, May 13th. The winner of today's battle will join the winners of the previous battles from Asia, Northern Europe, Eastern Europe, Middle East, Africa, Oceania, and Latin America and North America as a whole, and they will pitch live to top investors. So join us and sure to be there. But in any case, if you miss any of our events or any great pitches by our startups from all over the world, you can visit our YouTube channel, put likes, subscribe, and you will always know who is the hottest, who is the best deal, who is the most successful, and how to approach all those great guys who attend our events. And we have been doing our events for 12 years already. Love what we do. Have done more than 250 of them and never gonna stop. Visiting all those countries, exploring all those ecosystems because we love what we find. And our investors do too. They already helped to raise our startups more than 300 million. And we keep inviting more and more great VCs, business angels, corporation leaders, and they find great deals, I say. And we have been visiting small, big ecosystems. If you have startups, we come to you. And just in any case, if you haven't seen us in your city or your country, give us a call, drop me a message. We will meet and talk about it because we love our partners. Starting this year, we are doing unicorn pitches, where local startups meet local and international investors. And the winners of unicorn pitches go together with us to the unicorn battles. And then the winners of unicorn battles meet quarterly for the Unicorn Cup finals. And we would love to explore partnership relationships with you. So let's talk about it. Let me introduce the ecosystem that we all love. It's Startup Network. The Startup Network is the ecosystem where great managers, service providers, startups, businesses, and mediators meet together. It's a marketplace called Startup Network. Network VC is a seed fund. Sci-Fi Acceleration Program, Unicorn.Events is the world's largest startup pitch contest, VC House, a closed community, a network created exclusively for the VCs where they can exchange deals they invest in. Network Investments is a meeting point for investment banks and startup, and Silicon Valley Syndicate Fund is a special structure that allows business angels to invest into the best startups there are with small checks through syndicate deals. If you are investor, VC, a business angel, invest together with us, or let us know that you had found something really great, and we will support you. If you are a startup, please explore enormous opportunities our ecosystem gives. You can do anything with us. If you haven't found what you like, ask us. Maybe there, you just don't see it. And if you are fundraising, let us know about this. We will gladly support you with our funds. If you're a partner, please get in touch. We have enormous opportunities we can explore. We can do events together. We can grow together. We can do many, many great things within the startup and VC and angels communities. So let's get in touch. That was all from my side. I'm really glad to be here today and see you all, guys. Miss you really. And Julia, the floor is yours. Let us see what you have found in Silicon Valley today.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you a lot for this great presentation. And yeah, we move on to our wonderful partners. So please have a look at this slide. We have wonderful partners like Tech Events Online, Happy Farm, Event Browse, Startups Magazine, the Cap Venture Partners, MacArthur English, and Premium Law Group. Thank you so much for your support of our event. And now I'd like to welcome our honorable expert board. Thank you for your time, for your involvement. And I'd like to ask you to present yourself shortly, as usual. You should mention your industry you invest in, check size, state, and geographical location. So please, who would like to be the first one? Any volunteers, maybe?
I think we would give a floor to Alexander, the founder of Network.
Welcome, Alexander Soroka,
a man who began all this and never regretted. Or do you regret, Alexander, what you had started?
No.
Okay, I'm happy that you don't.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for coming for today's event. And our funds usually invest up to 500K. We prefer to invest on late seed or around the 8th stage. And we are industry agnostic. And today we are geographically agnostic as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexander, for a short presentation of you. And who would like to be the next?
I can go. This is Gary. Hi, everybody. Good to see some friendly, familiar faces. My name's Gary Fowler. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. I've done 17 companies, 2 unicorns. I was on the original management team at Click Software, sold to Salesforce 28 months ago for $1.35 billion. And also Eva.ai, a $1 billion AI HR tech company I founded with Dr. David Yang. And love artificial intelligence and quantum computing. My company is GSD, Get Shit Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in Silicon Valley. We curate companies from around the world. We've got companies from the Middle East, from Africa, actually 6 African startups, Latin America, Russia, Ukraine, Belarus. I mean, literally you name it. We're touching all parts of the world because we believe intellectual capacity is evenly distributed around the world, but opportunities are not. And what we want to do is make a bit of an impact and make people successful. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much. And who would like to be the next? Feel free to share the word with us. Please.
I can.
Please.
Yeah. Hi, Anna. Hi, Alexander. Yes. So good morning, everyone. My name is Ella Lee. Actually, I see also a lot of familiar faces. I'm the partner of GGC US Fund and also the CEO of GGC Capital. Our parent company manage Zpark, the largest tech hub in China. It has helped the growth of 82 unicorn companies and has also participated in almost 150 funds with a total valuation of more than $21 billion US. GGC Capital, we are the US subsidiary of our parent company and was formed in 2014. And we have 2 innovation centers, one in Silicon Valley and also one in Boston. So investment side, we have a pretty comprehensive fund system with a fund from C round to Series C fund, which we formed last year. And also starting from this year, we are shifting to healthcare innovation space. And in early June, we will launch the MedLab, the global healthcare innovation accelerator system. And right now, we're also taking out applications from the healthcare startup company, and the application is closed around late May. Myself is a scientist turned venture capitalist, and I have 15 years experience in pharmaceutical and also biotech sector. And I have special interest in therapeutic medicine opportunities from drug discovery to commercialization stage, and also looking at the deals from digital medicine, medical device, and also AI sectors. And it's really an honor to be here. Nice to meet everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you, Aya. Thank you. So, who are the next who would like to present their fund?
Oh, I could go next.
Sure, Stuart, please.
So, hey, Julia, hey, Anna, hi, everyone on the panel with me. It's great to be here. Thought I'd go a little bit earlier because it seems that all of you are tough acts to follow with all of your amazing credentials and what have you. So my name is Stuart Brown. I'm the CEO of PiCap Venture Partners. And PiCap is a venture capital firm based in Toronto. We're industry agnostic. Our check size is around $200,000. We're also a designated entity for the Startup Visa program. So what that means is that we can help companies immigrate to Canada and provide them with financing. So if you're interested in learning more, please let me know. I'll put my contact information in the chat. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Stuart. And I see Jordan. Would you like to share the world with us?
Oh, I am on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's so glad to see you guys. I've been gone for a few weeks. Sorry about that. Marcelo said something that bothered me not too long ago, so I kind of stayed away, but now he's back, so I'm going to come back. Anna, thank you for checking on me. That meant the world to me. It was really heartwarming, and it's always good to see Ella and Gary and Mr. Skywalker, Jules, the fabulous, the magnificent. And if I didn't mention your name, it's not personal. I'm Jordan Wabe with the Silicon Valley Venture Group, also in investment banking with Scorpion Capital and supporting Under Capital in pre-IPO fundraising. We, in the context of Silicon Valley Venture Group, we look at early stage companies, pre-Series A, occasionally Series A, and some of the seed and the angel groups. We write checks between $30,000 and $300,000 for equity or convertible notes across all technology sectors, as long as they improve the human condition. We look for companies that help people get better, companies get better, countries, cities, communities, relatively friendly group of people. And as you can see, I'm a fan of just 2 days ago, Starlink 9 launched and landed. So that's a great accomplishment for humanity. We're able to re-leverage the spaceships again and again and again. So if you are 18 years old or 20, you will be going to Mars if you want to. For the rest of us, we'll just hear about it from our retirement. Thank you for having me here. It's always wonderful being here.
Thank
Wonderful.
you for coming, Jordan. I loved when you say if you want to. That meant that means very good, because like if everybody would be forced to go to Mars, I don't know, like who would be left on Earth for inventions?
As long as you're COVID free, you're allowed to go.
Okay, that's good that you mentioned. Welcome on board. That's great to have you. I see Jules also with us. Jules?
Good morning. Thank you, Anna. Jordan, thanks for the shout out. Jules Walker, I'm with KPMG. I head up business development in the US for our emerging technology practice, which means that I talk to companies on behalf of KPMG, two guys in the garage up through unicorns pre and post IPO, and talk to them about 300 or 400 different services that KPMG can provide them. On the side, I do some angel investing from a personal perspective. I generally prefer back office versus front office, but I have a pretty broad swath in my portfolio internationally as well, and always enjoy these events. So thank you for continuing to invite me, Anna. I will continue to say yes until you stop.
Well, that is something great I hear today. Thank you, Jules, for your kind words. This is really great. And Sergey? Hello
Hi,
from
Anna.
Singapore, I guess.
Hi, Anna. Yeah, no, not at the moment. I'm not in Singapore. I'm still in Europe, so because you know, the COVID and everything. But I think I'll get back there till I think end of summer. It's right now. I mean, in the midsummer, it's not the best time in the Singapore or in Thailand, simply because of the weather. It's more rains, you know, and everything else. So Europe is more nice. Okay, so my name is Sergey. I'm a managing partner of Morphosis Capital Partners. We are a venture capital fund, boutique venture capital fund that is based in Singapore, and we have offices in Bangkok and in Hong Kong. We do the check size up to 500K, but we also can do follow-on investments of about 1 to 2 mil. And because I also do some jobs for a couple of family offices in Asia, they can also do follow-on investments up to 5 mil. I also have some McKinsey experience, so I think some part of the, you know, I try to move some parts of some knowledge from the consultancy into the VC many years ago. So, well, as again, happy to be here and happy to see so many familiar faces. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergey. Thank you. And I see Marcelo here. Marcelo, how are you?
Hi, Julia. Hi, Anna. Hi.
You are not scared of Jordan, are you?
No, I'm not. I love when he's here. Actually, a pitch event without Jordan, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Totally support you.
So thank you, everyone. I'm gonna choose my background because Jordan said that you're not gonna be there, but I'm gonna be there as soon as I can. Glad to be here. All the best luck to every startups that are gonna pitch today. I am in Boston. We are running an investment fund. We invest from 500K to $5 million. We love cross-border operation companies. So all the best to everyone. Thank you so much, Anna, Julia, Alexander. You guys, you do a great job with this event.
Marcelo, a quick reminder.
Yeah, and also guys, pay attention to the yellow card. Jordan is so tough. And companies, don't be afraid. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Thank you.
Thank you a lot.
And Slava wants to speak up. He looks at me and winks. Am I right?
Sure, yeah, I would be glad to. My name is Slava Pedlisny. I'm a managing partner of Network.Investments, which is a part of startup network ecosystem. What we do is actually we're creating a network of investment professionals and investment bankers so that we mutually could enlarge our deal flows and exchange deals and expanding our reach. So if anyone is interested in how to post my contacts, please let me know. Thanks, Anna.
Great to see you, Slava. And Sudhir is here. Okay, family is here. Oh, oh, you're muted. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Anna, for spotting me quickly. And hello, Jordan. How are you? Nice to see you again on the show. So I'm Sudhir Kadam. I'm a venture partner at FIDA Growth Partners. We basically have portfolio of several B2B frontier technology startups in AI, NLP, AR, VR, computer vision, IoT, robotics, and wellness technologies. Okay, my role is venture building to put startups on early adoption and to get them with a good go-to-market strategy and provide them market access for growth. And we have had 4 successful exits till date in location apps, video streaming, IoT for transportation, and cybersecurity. The last one was acquired by McAfee. And as we speak, I am into another transaction. We are selling a document signature company to a very large enterprise, you know, so we'll close that transaction pretty soon. I'm also a business advisor for Silicon Valley Syndicate Club. So I want to announce that. And we fund companies anywhere from 300 to 500K. And we have a couple of deals going there too. So I'm looking forward to picking up some good startups here with my friends on this show. And thank you for having me, Anna and Julia.
Thank you for coming. I think Julia has some excellent startups today. Do you, Julia?
Yeah, sure, Anna. So before we start pitching session, I'd like to remind a little bit to our judge to vote via our voting links you got previously in your emails. So please pass these links and score our startups from 1 till 5. You can do it while they are pitching or after that, but do not forget to do it. And today we have 9 wonderful startups. So welcome them. The first startup will be the Casey Grage, and the name of this startup is Hubley Surgical. Please, Casey, are you with us?
I'm here. Thanks for having me.
But before startups start, I would like to remind that we recommend not to mention any fundraising out loud, because different countries have different legislatures. If you mention, we cannot do nothing about it, but we just recommend not to do that. Okay, stage is yours.
May I add just a brief sentence, please?
Yep, sure, you can do anything.
Silicon Valley startups, you represent Silicon Valley. You're going to be competing with the rest of the world. If you're not feeling any pressure, it's time to feel it. We need you to do a really kick-ass job. You remember, you represent America, the United States, Silicon Valley. If there's anything at stake, you represent us. So make this count. Go get them. Last year, the Americans won. We need to do it again and again and again. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Go, go,
absolutely no pressure. Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
no pressure
no
at
pressure
all. Right? Be relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Casey, feel free to share with us your presentation and we will start. Great,
All right.
I can see. Yeah, please.
Great. Well, great to meet you all. My name is Casey Grage, and I am the founder and CEO of Hubley Surgical. The most common neurosurgery fails 20% of the time it's performed. And Hubley Surgical has developed the topmost tier of medical drills to fix that. We are a team of neurosurgeons and medical device engineers, 3 of whom have previously scaled a heart implant startup from Series B to D. This experience across medical hardware and business makes us the best team to modernize neurosurgery. And neurosurgery needs modernizing because the most common neurosurgery is the skull puncture, and it's performed 200,000 times per year in the US alone. And 20% of these procedures result in complications of stroke, hemorrhage, brain infection, and death. Now, this is a very troubling statistic, but it makes sense when you learn that no matter where you go, even the best of the best neurosurgeons are using a hand-cranked drill to perform skull punctures at the bedside. And in the operating room, they're using wire-to-the-wall versions that still lack really basic safety features. For example, Hubley is partnered with Northwestern Hospital to test and pilot our solution. Northwestern is ranked number 5 in neurosurgery, yet they still use these hand-crank drills. And doing so, they lost $20 million last year on skull puncture complications alone. Now let's imagine they had used the Hubley drilling system instead. Hubley is designed to replace the hand crank drill with a safer, easier to use option to save hospitals money and, most importantly, to save lives. Hubley's completely unique features offer catheter guidance, battery power, and automatic plunge prevention to prevent accidental drilling into the brain. And that's why 82 out of 100 neurosurgeons we interviewed are dissatisfied with the current solution and would actually pay more for something safer, which is smart because in just 1 year, we estimate that we could have saved Northwestern an estimated 13 lives, all from this one procedure. And through our collaboration with them, we also know we could have saved them an estimated $4 million. Now, we use these numbers not only for clinical validation and marketing, but also for cost and pricing data for reimbursement. In total, we can save US hospitals an estimated $4 billion on this one procedure. And we have a large and growing market for our drills. So our total addressable market is $8.4 billion for all of the applicable procedures. Now, our FDA pathway is the Class 2 510K. That means that the regulatory pathway is relatively streamlined and it's actually expedited. And we've already done cadaver testing. So with no required human or animal trials, we expect to submit our 510(k) proposal in December of this year and achieve FDA clearance and launch in Q1 of 2022. At that point, we'll sell directly to hospitals, starting with our partners. To gain early traction and revenue, we're price matching our drill to the current hand crank solution, and will still yield an 85% margin. Overall, Hubbly has the team, the intellectual property, and the product validation. We have grants from the National Science Foundation. We've already raised $400,000 to achieve FDA clearance from venture capital firms and big name angels in the field of medtech. So if you're like us and you don't want a hand crank drill going into your head, please come talk to us. Now, thank you, and I will now take questions.
Great, Casey, good presentation. And now it's time for questions, suggestions, and comments from our expert board. So please feel free to share your opinions regarding this presentation. And
so Casey, thank you very much. It's a great presentation. I think this is the second time I'm seeing your presentation. I'd seen it long ago when you were at a very early stage. You were only toying with the idea, but it looks like you have made a great progress. Okay, so tell me, how is it class 2 for FDA? Because this is an invasive device, right?
It is, but because the drill is only supposed to go through bone and not into tissue, that makes it a class 2. The vast majority of medical drills fit under class 2.
Okay. And is your prototype already being used anywhere?
Yes, it has. So we've done extensive cadaver testing at Northwestern Hospital, if I can find the slide. But we have tested it at the bench, and we've confirmed that our plunge prevention works every time. You know, N of 50 holes drilled into pigs and human cadavers, and it automatically stops every time.
So how long is your FDA pathway?
We expect to submit our proposal in December of this year, and then it's a 90-day turnaround before we get back from the FDA. So it's common for class 2 510(k) devices to get clearance after that first 90-day turnaround. There's a possibility that it would have to be extended by another 90 days. However, after we submit the application, we can start accepting pre-orders.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Casey.
So, yeah, please.
I had a question. Hi, this is Jules. First of all, you got to wonder what the 20 surgeons who wouldn't pay more for safety are thinking, but that's a side point. I think you mentioned $1,200 was the variable cost per procedure. Can you get into that a little bit more? And what is the fixed cost? What is the cost of the device for the doctors?
Sure. So the hand crank drill is currently sold at $1,200. So we are planning to just price match at the beginning. We are a premium device and we expect to sell as a premium price, but we'll have discounts at launch to get rid of hospital administrator excuses to say no to our product. And we can still make an 85% margin through that price match.
So is it a one-time use device? Oh.
Yeah. And that's required in the US for the bedside for sterility purposes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Casey. Thank you so much. Yeah, we have more questions.
Just real briefly, Casey, how much investments, how much cash you need into the business before you go into post-revenue? Not the investment around here, but in total cash. How much more cash you need to put in before you think you start generating the first dollar of revenue?
Sure. We'll ultimately need $3 million total before we start making revenue. And
that's about 6 months out, 2 years out. What's the trajectory for that?
The trajectory about 1 year.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Casey. Please use private chat for asking questions because we are limited in time, unfortunately. And we move on to the next startup. Please welcome the winner of Unicorn Pitch in New York, Josh from Articulates Lab. Please, Josh, are you with us?
Sorry, took my computer a second to respond there.
Okay, while waiting. So.
Sorry, come on, guy.
Yeah, do not worry.
Okay, is my presentation showing up now?
Yeah, good.
Terrific. Okay, I'll get started then. Thank you all very much for having me. My name is Josh Rabinowitz. I'm co-founder and CEO of Articulate Labs. Our company is developing wearable devices to accelerate muscle strengthening and retraining throughout everyday activity, starting with knee rehabilitation. There are over 14 million in the US who are symptomatic and seeking treatment for chronic knee conditions, another million recovering from knee surgery. And for pretty much every single one of those individuals, quadricep strengthening is going to be a vital component of rehabilitation. The challenge that we see in this market is that the vast majority of the population doesn't make it to all their physical therapy sessions and isn't compliant with their home-based regimens, not necessarily because of lack of desire. Time, distance, challenges with reimbursement all conspire to reduce access for people who are otherwise interested in fully recovering strength and being able to avoid issues like readmission for surgery or further comorbidities related to lack of mobility. This is something my co-founder learned the hard way, surviving a motorcycle accident and needing to rehabilitate his own knee in order to be able to continue to walk and live the way he expected to. From his unmet need and the unmet need we see among millions, we developed a technology to try to match that. This is something we're calling knee-stim. We take existing technology that's been in use called neuromuscular electrical stimulation, which involves running current through a muscle in order to force it to contract, and improves upon it with the integration of AI, motion tracking hardware, and our own proprietary joint modeling system to synchronize stimulation with muscle usage in order to leverage everyday activity and turn it into those strengthening repetitions outside of a clinic or a gym. Our working prototype shown here has advantages in terms of mobility, comfort, and again, integration into activity that are not currently available with competitive devices. The net benefits include a greater increase in strength recovery for the patient, greater convenience, greater comfort with the stimulation, and the addition of data that can be used to track patient progress and compliance. I'll highlight of our team. I'll highlight my co-founder. Again, survived a motorcycle accident, lost his right leg below the knee, wore out the left knee, and applied his extensive background in control systems and embedded design to meet this issue. And then we've built around it with scientific and business advisors to help round out the team. We are currently working on submitting for 510(k) clearance, like the previous presenter, targeting the end of this year for submission in order to earn regulatory clearance and then to begin selling to outpatient surgical centers and physical therapy clinics for rental or resale to their patients. We would be similar margins. We're looking at about 90%. Our cost of goods is about half of the nearest competitor, and our device would be allowed for home use and would again fit into movement in order to improve compliance. I believe I'm at 3 minutes there, so I'll wrap up and take your questions. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for quick presentation. And we go back to our expert board. So please, any questions to our founder? Okay, so maybe some comments and suggestions.
Josh, this is Jordan. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for the presentation. Really well done. Without mentioning numbers, the amount of money you're raising doesn't seem like it's sufficient to get you to the next level. Just tell me more about the use of funds without talking about the exact dollars. I'm looking at your profile.
Sure. So use of funds for the current seed round would be focused on FDA clearance, launching of our post-market validation studies at Houston Methodist, and initiating a soft launch of our sales in the Dallas-Fort Worth and Houston areas where we have the most existing relationships. There would be a need for follow-on funding, most likely, though there's a non-zero chance that based on some of the other exits we've seen in this space, that regulatory clearance would put us in position to be able to exit to an orthopedics or orthotics manufacturer.
Do you plan additional releases of the same product or other varieties of the product?
Absolutely. So here's a map kind of showing the various applications that we see potential for this technology. The underlying technology, so we've got 5 utility patents granted in the US, 1 core patent getting nationalized through the EPO currently, with others pending. None of this is restricted to the knee. The underlying force modeling technology can be extensible to other joints and conditions, which then also opens us up to other verticals such as sports medicine, space health, military medicine, all sorts of other places where there's a need for accelerated rehabilitation and means that could integrate into activity.
What's a good year for break even for you, sir?
We're estimating under 18 months to break even. Again, based on selling two clinics, having them rent out or resell to their patients, and then accumulating reimbursement based on existing DME rental codes, as well as newer codes relating to remote analysis of physiologic data collected by this device.
Thank you for your time.
Jordan, I already flew to Mars because we cannot see you. We can see only the background. It's like you're speaking already from somewhere. Yeah, yeah, it was a spectacular. Yeah, it was spectacular.
Sorry about
you emerged from the light.
Yeah, please, I heard it. Somebody, please.
Yeah, this is Ella. So 2 quick questions. First, what is your reimbursement strategy moving forward? This is the question. Second one is, have you done any pilot study where regarding the outcome, how is that compared to other conventional methods?
So to address the second question first, we do need to conduct full validation studies in order to prove that this device can do what we say it does. Existing secondary research that the closest correlation that we've seen in lab space shows a near doubling in quadricep strength recovery within 4 weeks for patients recovering from ACL surgery. That's the type of goal we would seek to achieve with this technology through the integration of stimulation combined, or of high intensity stimulation combined with voluntary muscle usage. I apologize, could you remind me the first question?
The first one is, what is the reimbursement policy? What is the pricing model? Are you gonna talk with some of the insurance entities?
So ASP that we're targeting currently would be $750 per unit to the surgical center or physical therapy clinic. Reimbursement codes include DME rental for electrical stimulation devices that would cover $85 to $100 per month in reimbursement for up to 13 months. We would anticipate this device being prescribed up to 3 months prior to surgery and up to 9 months following surgery. The remote physiologic data reimbursement range between $20 to $60 per month, depending on the amount of time spent analyzing that data. And then there's $15 to $25 use in clinic for every 15 minutes of stimulation provided in the course of a physical therapy session. So the physical therapist has the opportunity to earn revenue both when the person's showing up, but more importantly, when they're not showing up, because that's really the key issue, and that's how we're positioning this with physical therapists. Is not something we're not looking to completely replace, nor would we want to replace their service. We're looking to use this as a way to augment their time and to increase the number of patients that they can see, and to maintain contact and revenue with the patients that they're not seeing.
Thank you. Good job, Josh. And time for question is up. So we should continue. Thank you so much. And dear startups, please do not forget to share your contact information in our chat to all investors. Okay, great. So we are going to the next participant, and please welcome I'm sorry, I have the Rohit Sharma, please. Are you welcome?
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Rohit Sharma. And can you guys see the screen?
Yeah, please.
Can you confirm that you're able to see my screen?
Could you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you so much. So, hi again. My name is Rohit Sharma, and I work for AITS. We are bringing low power, no internet, on-device AI deployment for 300 billion plus edge devices like the microcontroller you see in my hand. These devices are low power, low battery, they run without internet, and there are 300 billion of those in the world today. If you are sitting in the car, there are 50 of these devices, dumb devices around you. Our team, I'm a second-time entrepreneur. My co-founder, Praveen Jain, comes from AMD Intel with enormous experience in SoC to ML stack. And we have stellar line of advisors with a team of 5 full-time engineers. So the problem is these devices are dumb, and we are bringing AI to these 300 billion plus devices that exist in the world today. And the edge ecosystem is thriving. Our focus is bringing the AI model and applications without internet and without electricity in areas where these, these amenities are luxury. For example, remote space, locomotive companies, smart farming, smart mining, smart factories, you name it. Anything you put smart in front of is our user, customer, or partner. And we are making it as simple as bringing this device, connecting it to your laptop using this dongle, and then connect it to our platform, plug and play. Within half an hour to an hour, you have the device smart with the firmware or the software that we provide. So it's not a matter of months to start a company, it's a matter of an hour that you can start any application, including the ones that you see on the screen. We have over 70 applications on our platform as of today, and it's increasing by the day. The products that we offer, you can download the firmware or the software from our Play Store and flash it on the device, or you can customize it. For example, if you would like to create Hey Siri or Hey Alexa type of firmware with a board like this and embed that on an electric switch, which are over 1 trillion in the world, you can do that within half an hour. Or you can customize it completely with our platform, bringing your team of data scientists and embedded developers, and you have it within a day or more. So our differentiation is a compiler that we have built. We are competing against Google TensorFlow Lite Micro, and we are we beat that product by a handsome margin on RAM size, flash size, and CPU cycles. This is the market validation. There are quite a few companies that have been funded in the last 9 months to the tune of from 5 million to over 50 million in the edge AI space. So this space is growing anywhere from 30 to 40% CAGR year over year, depending on the report you read. The total market size is about 25 billion. We are going after 2.6 billion with over 5,000 companies in US alone. Our license model is subscription-based and time-based license, depending on the size of our customer. If it's an enterprise customer, this is a time-based license. If it's a small company or SMBs, then it's a subscription-based license. Our traction has been impressive so far. We have won quite a few competitions. We were placed in as a finalist in the NASA iTech 2020 competition. We are working with Air Force, NASA, and some of the other federal agencies. And we are building the AI ecosystem with these large corporations, including ARM, Qualcomm, Microchip, and others. This is our competition. Like I said, they have received funding anywhere from 5 million to over 50 million. We are the most exotic ones. We have several competitive advantages. The most remarkable one being the compiler that competes against TensorFlow Lite Micro. These are our partners. We are looking for about 500,000 to support 12 months of funding. This would bring us 3 new verticals, and we will put the money in business development and customer acquisition.
Okay, Rohit, I'm sorry, your time is up. Yeah, it was the last slide. So thank you so much. It was Rohit Sharma from AI Technology and Systems. And it was really interesting presentation. So now it's time for questions. Please feel
Hi,
free
this is
to ask.
Purvi. Hi, this is Purvi
Hi.
Gandhi. Hi, Rohit, this is really interesting. Thanks for sharing. Just two questions. What is your customer acquisition strategy? And the 500,000, what is the main objective of that capital?
Right. So the customer acquisition strategy is the market works in the ecosystem. So there are IV providers, including ARM. There are board providers like NXT. We provide our compiler that goes in the SDK of these ecosystem providers. And each one of them have in turn 250,000 to 1 million customers each. And there are top 10 customers that we are going, top 10 providers that we are going after, providing our compiler to be embedded in their system. And that goes to the end consumer of 15 million developers. And it brings those customers back to our platform. So this is the commercial space. Right now, we are going after the government sector. They have real-time problems with money in the hand, including Air Force, NASA, some of the other energy agencies, and railway systems. So we are working with three live projects right now, one with NASA on space weather prediction. The second one is on Air Force using RF signal to find if there is a person stuck inside the building or in the battlefield using RF signals and a device like this. And the third one is finding the animal presence around the rail tracks with the largest railway network company on this planet Earth.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your answer.
I was just wondering, so are these paid? These are paid pilots, or are you getting revenue in today?
Yes, these are paid pilots.
Does your compiler only run with your board, or can it run with the?
We are hardware agnostic.
Okay, so so this is just a suggestion. You must make that very clear, because you are showing the board all the time, and everybody. It's very hard to get hardware funded these days. Okay, so anything to do with the hardware is very difficult to get funded. So it is, but you have an amazing product. I would be surprised why you would raise such a low round, such a small round.
Say that again.
I'm surprised. Why would you raise such a small round when you have so many things going on, such a great traction, so many pilots, you're talking to the government agencies, you got this NASA approval and all that kind of stuff. It will really shock me as an investor. I would start reading between the lines. Why is this guy lowballing his entire effort?
Right. So like I said, we have not found the product market fit yet, and therefore we don't have a scaling strategy in place. These three government agencies, they have money in the hand, but the real market is in the commercial sector, and that is still evolving. There's a lot of companies in space. There's hardly any company that's making money as of now in the commercial sector. So we want to be slow and steady and ride out this, find the product market fit before we start to scale. Does it make sense?
I'll take this offline with you.
Have you been able to already put those devices into any other companies than you mentioned that you wanted to put in pilot? Sage, NASA, or everyone else that you're in talks to? Have you managed to put these devices into any other companies?
I did not get the question. My signal was cut
sorry.
off.
Sorry. Have you managed to put these devices into any other companies other than you mentioned about that you put it into the pilot?
Yes, so the ecosystem that we talked about, there are over 10 different providers that we work with in market sales strategy. We have a talk coming up with the largest embedded provider, ARM ecosystem, on May 11th. So yes, we do put these applications on the hardware in the vendors of the ecosystem that we work with.
Do you think it will be hard to put them to commercial use after, let's say, NASA approves your device and put into one of their programs? Do you think it will be hard to launch the commercial stage? Because, you know, if the device is already in the government programs, they might be concerned about the security or any other issues and not letting the same device being implemented in any other commercial programs.
So the government contract, they generally ask you for the explainability of the software. And for them, we have a different license where we provide the source code to make sure that they understand everything that is in the IP. For the commercial space, we're not planning to release our source code. And that would be the difference in these two markets and the strategy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'm sorry we need to go forward. So thank you so much for your presentation, and keep speaking in our chat. So feel free to do it. And we should go to the next participant, to the next wonderful startup. Please welcome Steve Miller and CH4 Global Inc.
Great. Can I check? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see.
Great.
Good.
So it's clear today that climate change is just simply the greatest threat that's facing mankind today. So wouldn't it be great if there was a scalable path that gets to dramatic reductions in greenhouse gas emissions over the next 25 years that also generates dramatic and sustainable revenue? So my name's Steve Miller. I'm the co-founder and CEO of CH4 Global, where we're solving what we believe is the key scalable way to impact climate change through reducing methane from the largest source globally, cattle. Let's flip to the next one. Today, the 1.5 billion cows on the planet produce 150 million tons of methane per year. That's the largest single source of methane globally, and the United Nations defines methane as 86 times more impactful on global warming over the next 20 years. If you do the math, that's 12.9 billion or 12.9 gigatons of carbon dioxide equivalents per year. That's more greenhouse gas output from the US, the EU, and India combined, and globally is the second largest sector emissions behind only the energy sector. What we've developed at CH4 Global is a way to reduce the methane output of those 1.5 billion cows by more than 90% using a simple, natural, readily scalable feed additive when used at less than 0.5% of their daily diet. These 1.5 billion cows represent an estimated $1.1 trillion market size. The feed additive is a freeze-dried, unique red seaweed called Asparagopsis that has almost 10 years of published peer-reviewed scientific proof on its ability to interact with the cow's digestive processes to inhibit methane production in excess of 90%. As you'd expect, there's other companies also trying to grow Asparagopsis. However, today, no other company has the four things needed to be market ready and scalable. One, a regulatory approval for Asparagopsis to be used as a feed supplement. Two, a license to access the key use patents that were filed in 2020 to make the claims of methane reduction. Three, initial purchase orders, in our case, existing for about $8 million. And four, scaling supply, all initially in Australia and New Zealand, which is the native genetic home of Asparagopsis, and alone is a $10 billion market. Because of these key items, we will be the first in the market to produce Asparagopsis from seed to adult at scale. And because we've been able to crack the code on how to activate spore release on demand, we can grow within hatcheries and nurseries, enabling us to accelerate production and scale. We've been able to do this because we've built a business model that leverages partnerships across the value chain to facilitate scale development, and also because of our phenomenal team with extensive years of Procter & Gamble product development expertise that simply takes everyday materials, turns them into superior, patented, premium price, consumer demanded products. This disciplined approach has enabled our key IP to be developed that will ensure product fit across the global market sectors as we scale. We aim to have our first product ready for market late 2021 from our market demonstration facility building in Australia now, enabling us to meet large-scale purchase orders leading to scaling and growth. So who wouldn't want to be part of enabling the world to address climate change at scale over these coming decades so we can create a better world for generations to come? So join us at CH4 in this incredible journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, so much. And now we are going to ask our expert board. Do you have any questions to our founder? Please, guys.
Thank you for doing this. This is indeed a big undertaking, and everyone, one of us will need. I'm looking at your slide, at your website, your portfolio. Without mentioning numbers, you're spending a big chunk of money on labor and work, 40%. That's a lot of money. How long is this fundraise going to be? 2 years, 3 years? And what's the next stage in the fundraising journey?
18 months to 12, 24 months, this tranche will last. We'll already be churning by that stage revenue in the order of $8 to $10 million. We should be profitable within 24 months of now. The next raise is a yet to be determined. It'll be a Series A. It's not going to be a large multiple of what you see there because most of our work is done through partnerships on both ends, on the growing end, on the distribution end. Ours is really in the middle in terms of the processing and the formulation, which is where the key intellectual property is, in order to deliver the products that actually generate the benefit for both beef feedlot, dairy cattle, and free-range cattle.
Got it. Thank you. Quickly, in 3 sentences or less, what's your market validation evidence of your product being a fit for what you aim to accomplish?
Probably 10 of the largest companies in the sector or in the value chain already working with us.
Okay. Can you qualify working? What does that mean? Like
they're either seeking investment, they are already in collaboration, and or working on purchase orders.
Okay. And one last question: any IP, any patents on what you're doing?
The key intellectual property is around the formulation. How do you formulate it so that it's relevant for a beef cow, a dairy cow, or a free-range cow? There's also a broad array of patents, not from us, but from an organization called Future Feed, on making the claim of methane reduction. Only on making the claim. We're the only company in the world that actually has that license at present.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have time for more questions, please.
I have a question. This is Jules. Can you talk about the cow business? There's large players. There's also a lot of family farms, small providers. Can you talk about the cost to a family farm that has 1,000 heads of cattle versus big guys? And then yeah, go ahead. Start with that.
So the business model has a predicated piece in it where we put money in a farmer's pocket, dairy or beef. And it goes like this. Sure, there's a cost to the product, but there are 4 ways in which that farmer can generate additional value. 1, there's a reduction in the carbon. We buy that back at market rate. So that's a value to them. 2, the data that's been generated over the last 10 years also shows there's a dramatic feed efficiency benefit, at least 15%. So you can feed less feed to get the same productivity, a big cost savings to the farmer. 3, the current supplements they use are no longer actually needed given the robust micronutrient profile of the seaweed. And 4, and most importantly, there's an increase in farm gate price. And if the farm gate price increases only 10%, for example, for milk, that farmer has a 50% ROI. And I can tell you that some of the largest companies on the planet in the value chain of milk and milk-related products like ice cream and chocolate and yogurt and cheese, again, are part of those group who are seeking to participate in this arena. Farmers make money.
That's great. All those things you just rattle off, I think you should include in your presentation because it's very powerful.
Yeah, we only got 3 minutes, so.
I got you. Second question. So cattle is obvious, but does this also apply? Can it be used with horses, goats, other farm animals? No. And is there a market for that?
Cows, so they're ruminants. Cows, sheep, goats, camels, deer, they would be generally the sector. Those that have a 4-partition stomach, a ruminant stomach.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So it was Steve Miller, CEO of CH4 Global Inc. Thank you so much for being with us today. And we go to the startup with the name Dreamfully. Please, Matt Rebeck, welcome. Matt, are you with us? Yeah.
Hello, yes, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Such amazing
Okay.
presentations today.
Yeah, I can see your screen, so you can start when you're ready.
Awesome, okay. Hi, I'm Matt, founder of Dreamfully, which is a consumer-facing digital wellness product that helps you relax and feel better through visually guided mindfulness aids. Our target audience is 1, struggling with stress and anxiety, and 2, surrounded by and wanting immersive media. The Dreamfully vision is to provide that population with experiences that are highly engaging, but also highly relaxing, de-stressing, and inspiring. At Dreamfully, we are passionate about taking proven, effective wellness practices like mindfulness and deep breathing and making them feel more engaging, easy, and adoptable. On that note, mindfulness is the #1 leading health trend in the US, but in terms of available software and apps, it's limited to audio-based solutions. You have to stop what you're doing, put some headphones in, listen to somebody's voice. We're all familiar with the top meditation apps, but when you consider that 65% of all people are visual learners and that modern content consumption preferences have us engaging with on-screen dynamic visual content, you realize there's a large gap of people, over 150 million in the US alone, who can be getting additional benefit but are not. And so by adding qualities of on-screen visual immersion, we close that gap, making the otherwise challenging practice feel more engaging, effortless, and fun. So at Dreamfully, we take mindfulness to the next level through dynamic, customizable visual tools, all centered around deep guided breathing. Each experience is a carefully crafted digital relaxation cocktail, reminding you that you're okay as it calms and soothes. We also leverage community-centric open-sourced content that empowers our users to be creators as much as it does consumers, and I'm excited to talk more about that in future conversations. Our traction to date includes validating our product among mental health professionals, refining and building our prototype, acquiring some high volume LOIs along the way, and testing in closed beta. And basically that testing has just shown us that we're going in the right direction. Out of over 300 early adopters to date, we have been able to effectively relax them. They're engaged, highly engaged, and they want more. So just a little bit of what our early adopters have to say. There's a mom who uses this with her kid that has ADHD, a therapist, one of over 40 in our network, who's excited to share this with her clients, some RDR, and someone who uses this before bed to unwind. So basically we have a standard freemium subscription model, and just to see some projections with about 5,000 premium customers, that would yield about 500K in ARR. We all know that meditation offers great opportunity. We differentiate ourselves by focusing exclusively on visually guided aids with community-centric development, which no other company is currently dedicated to. Our go-to-market first involves distribution through B2B2C through qualified clinical networks. This is for a couple reasons. One, we have data that it works. It also helps us validate our product so that when we have the first couple thousand customers, it will be a lot easier to scale. And then ultimately we have the team to execute. I'm the CEO founder. We have an excellent CTO, head of growth, clinical advisors with national public presence, in addition to visual production experts who have experience from Lucasfilm working on movies like Star Wars, Avatar, etc. And thank you so much. Would love to
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Very good presentation. And as usual, we go back to our experts. So please, any suggestions, comments?
Sure, I can jump in with a question. I'm just wondering where the focus is for your intellectual property. Like, is it for the platform or is it for the content that you're creating?
We don't have IP in that sense, not yet. We are developing some custom code solutions that might be able to be patentable in the future. But basically where we develop our competitive niche is around the community we're creating, the market differentiation, and ultimately the go-to-market and team, which is not only unique, but defensible as well.
Okay, great, thanks.
Good. More questions? Please, we have time for 1 or 2 questions. Okay, last chance to ask Matt something. Okay, nice. I think it was very clear. So, yeah.
I can give one suggestion to Matt. I think
Yeah, sure.
your application is all about experience. So in your presentation, if you bring about that experience, that audiovisual experience, I think it'll be very impactful. Because if you look at COM and other products, okay, they're all experience products. So, you want to, no amount of words is going to explain what that experience is going to be. So that's my take on this one. But it's a great product. I think I would really love to try it.
That's very true. Thank you. I intentionally didn't include video because I've had some bad experiences with lagging, and I didn't want to give off an inferior presentation. However, I would love to share our product with you. I'll put my information in the chat because I agree the best way to understand is really to try.
And also some other thing to add to is the fact, so it's great actually in your 3 minutes presentation, you included several important components of a startup company an investor wants to see, for instance, for this competitive analysis as well. So when I look at your apps, actually, Rachel, I want to point that out. So you also mentioned, so far the technology barrier may not be what the largest differentiator, but you are more focusing, and also maybe you want to later on try to focus more on expanding or building your marketing channel by working to building more networking or partnership with those like a therapist or clinic. This is probably going to be the help you to win or to make you survive in this very, I would say, potentially could be quite a crowded space.
Exactly. That's what our go-to-market plan revolves around. Through therapist connections, we have direct distribution to over 10,000 plus potential end users. That will only continue to grow. And yeah, that just helps us, validate, get out there without spending a lot of money on ads or anything like that, and build up a network effect. So it will be able to scale a lot easier.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Good answers. And yeah, it was Matt from Dreamfully, and we are going forward. So please welcome the next participant for today, the startup listing board, and Julia McDonald.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can see my screen. Thanks so much for this opportunity. So listing board is essentially an AI inventory sourcing agent. And what do I mean by that? A lot of you probably have been following the exponential growth in e-commerce in the last decade. But I think few people realize that behind the scenes, getting wholesale inventory from countries where it's manufactured, such as China, Thailand, and Vietnam, to all the merchants that need it, whether e-commerce or brick and mortar, as a process really has not changed in the last several decades. Every merchant on their own has to find a factory, usually through a platform such as Alibaba, that produces what they want, establish some sort of a relationship with the factory, negotiate pricing, negotiate payment terms. They have to sign some contracts, send money across the world. They have to agree on air cargo, sea shipping, undergo several customs processes just to get their product. This is not only a very complex process, but if something goes wrong, it's extremely expensive. At Listing Bird, we have found a way to automate the end-to-end sourcing process with AI. Essentially, we were building an AI-driven chatbot technology that will pass the Turing test when it's done, and it will connect to all the factories that produce a certain good, let's say in China, and negotiate with all these factories the same product simultaneously in parallel until it gets the absolute best deal. And after that, it will follow up with the factory that won the bid and shipping agents and the testing lab and everyone else involved to make sure all the payment, all the invoices, everything else is done correctly, properly, and on time, making this entire sourcing process not only much cheaper, but much more fast and reliable. So about our team, we're 2 co-founders. Prior to listing Bird, I was part of another NLP startup called Quid, where I built a $5 million business unit, and the company was acquired right before COVID. And I joined forces with my co-founder and CTO, Hussam, who has built 2 e-commerce businesses on his own using his own software automation tools, each of which scaled to about $1 million within the first 12 months of existence. Our go-to-market roadmap is basically bottom-up. We're right now working with smallest micro merchants who need 50 to 100 units of a certain product. What it does is not only does it give us great traction, so for our last closed months of March, we sold about $46,000 worth of goods, but we're able to set up our operations and everything else and experience trial and error easily. And most importantly, we are getting lots and lots of conversational data to train our chatbot, which will be an ongoing process. Once the chatbot is trained, we will be moving to small and medium customers that will receive this as a SaaS subscription. We will connect directly to their stores as opposed to a wholesale store interface that we have right now for our customers that just come and check out on our website. I'm sorry, I just didn't catch that.
Yeah, please mute everybody.
Yeah, sorry. And so last but not least, after that, we will be offering an enterprise solution as well. And I think with that, I'm actually ready to get all your questions. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Julia, so much. And yeah, questions, please. You're welcome to ask Julia today.
Julia, can you please tell what is the size of the market that you expect, to get into? Because it's obviously it's a manufacturing, but ordering, but I mean, it's not the whole manufacturing. It's just the cases when probably not the biggest size of orders happening because the people need to find them through Alibaba or something else. So what's the expected size of the market?
Right, great question here. So we have essentially gradual market approach, right? And so you're completely right. Right now, we're targeting the micro merchants. You can think about them as people who sell through conventional e-commerce platforms such as Shopify stores, Amazon FBAs, people who are influencers on Instagram and they need merchandise, small, medium businesses such as hair salons that need 100 or 200 units of a certain, hairbrush, all sorts of things like that. The easiest way for us to estimate data on this particular segment, which is one of the 3, is to go through existing data. We like doing things bottom up. So we have taken the approach to get through Alibaba, which is market dominant. Not everyone sources through Alibaba, but they're market dominant. And they have, just for United States, which is our primary market right now, they have had 6 million active buyers in 1 year of 2020 alone. So all of these people are already a potential market opportunity for us. And then there are a few hundred thousands at very least of larger e-commerce businesses, just United States alone, that need 10,000 and more of the same SKU type. And that will be our next market. Enterprise is comprised of very few companies, but the companies that source, millions and millions of different SKUs, chemical companies, automotive companies. We've spoken to a few of them, and they said, if the chatbot is already fully trained, we would love to just use it and pay you by API call, for instance.
Okay, how much do you charge and who you charge for these services?
Yes. So right now, our business model is optimized for micro merchants. So we basically make a margin based on the prices that we have on our website. For micro merchants, the easiest way to reach them is just a plain simple Google pay-per-click campaign. So they find our ad, they come, and our website is fully self-serve. So they check out, they purchase, there's no involvement on our end. We are able to ship the product cheaper, we're able to purchase the product cheaper for a lot of different reasons than they can do on their own, even if they do absolutely everything themselves. So the margin right now we're keeping is between 25 and 15%, depending on the product. In the future, we can navigate of giving more to the merchant or less to the merchant.
Julia, great work. So far, best presentation, getting what you want to get done. Your confidence, your self-assurance is refreshing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Give me traction product. I know you're pre-revenue, so give me traction on product, give me traction on the team. I know you need to hire 2 more people. And give me your trajectory for when do you think you get to a break-even point at some point?
Great. So right now in March, what we had is we sold about $46,000 in worth of goods. That was actually before we fully launched our pay-per-click campaign. So we generated about $7,000 net revenue in March. And then in April, we had to shut down a lot of things because there were big problems in shipping in China. Anyone who knew the repercussions of Suez Canal affected global shipping, and if you are following the situation. But so March is more of a sort of normal month for us, where we did $7,000 in net revenue for Listing Bird. And we started, so just as the trajectory, we switched to this sourcing product in August last year from another product that we tried before. And we started selling in late September. In October, we signed our first customers where we did like $200. So we grew to $7,000 net revenue. So $46,000 goods sold in just a few months. The movement between the different merchant classes depends on how quickly we can train our chatbot. We are working with a world-class NLP advisor, Julian who devoted her whole life to chatbots, and she estimates that we need about 10,000 in conversations. We are having close to 1,000 right now by months. This technology is going to be first starting language in Chinese, so it's really not something that has been done before. And I think at that point, we'll be able to start monetizing the next customer base. I hope that answers the question.
Not really. When do you think you will break even?
So right now we could break even, but we're spending what we have acquired in marketing on the pay-per-click campaign. And then with the chatbot technology, once we fundraise, we will not be breaking even in the next 3 years because we'll be spending a lot on the data scientists and the AWS costs.
So you think you break even in 3 years? Is that what I'm hearing?
Probably right, yes.
Okay, that's a really long time for what you do. In terms of the technology itself, is there anything unique, or is it just execution that is flawless of some sort?
So I believe that this is going to be a unique chatbot because it's going to be unrecognizable for humans. So the idea is that we connect to platforms where we have salespeople from the factory. So we go to them, there's no integration, and the chatbot will negotiate prices and terms in Chinese. If it encounters a problem, we'll have a human in the loop, obviously, to correct some sort of issues. But the unique thing is here that it will be a money-generating chatbot, if you will. Its goal is to hang in the chat and negotiate prices and terms until it gets a better deal, cross-negotiate between factories, and basically, if you will, get the absolute maximum deal that it can across all the factories so that the customer doesn't have to do anything. They can just get that deal transferred to them.
Other than money, what can this group help you with besides money?
A lot of connections in the e-commerce industry would, is something that we're looking for to constantly talk to potential future customers, what they need, what their supply chain issues are. Anything like that is super helpful. We are constantly optimizing everything that we do with regards to China sourcing, shipping agents, the global transfer of goods, and that's a never-ending learning platform. So if you know advisors that have imported and sourced a lot of products internationally, this chatbot will be translated to different languages. After we train the Chinese chatbot, we'll be training something in Vietnamese or Indian, etc. So we can source from other countries as well. So we'd love to talk to people who have been doing that. And we have a lot of NLP advisors, but if you know NLP advisors as well, we would love that as well.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. You can continue your QA in chat because we are pressed with time, so we have to go forward. Thank you, Julia. Julia from Listing Board.
Thank you.
Okay, and now I'd like to invite to pitch the next startup, 8base. Please, Alberto Santalo, you're welcome.
You see my screen?
Okay, yes, good.
Great. Hello, everybody. I'm Albert Santalo, founder and CEO of 8base, a low-code development platform for digital products. It's a little bit on me. I got my background as a software engineer, later on as a management consultant, helping large multinationals with digital transformation, and then became an entrepreneur, having founded and exited 2 venture-backed enterprise software companies prior to 8base. 8base was really born out of my direct experience as an engineer and an entrepreneur. I simply believe that a platform could be built that accelerates production-grade software development to the benefit of founders, especially non-technical founders. So that puts us in a specific category of low-code, meaning digital products. Most of the low-code products that exist in the world are for doing internal apps, but 8base can do internal apps, but it also can do external customer-facing apps really well. We compete in the low-code development platform market, which is growing from about 10 billion today to 52 billion by 2024. Our mission is really to democratize creation. It's to make it so that entrepreneurs, especially non-technical entrepreneurs, can bring their products to life without working up too much of a site or spending too much money building the product itself to scale. So building products to scale is still hard. Most of you that deal with startups, you're probably, almost all of them are building from scratch. And hiring engineers is not cheap. It's hard to get them to bring the vision to life, and usually takes up a lot of capital in the process. Most of the time, entrepreneurs are thinking about the part of the iceberg that is above the water, which is what the user interface is. But a lot of times the problems that manifest themselves are below the waterline with the underlying systems. So the way 8base attacks this problem today is we give front-end developers superpowers. So with a compact team of front-end developers, maybe even one front-end developer, people can build the product that they need. Our product set is also an evolution, which I'll talk about in a minute. But today we can easily build multi-tenant SaaS applications, marketplaces, and network-centric applications like social networks, portals and customer experiences, etc. And we can do that with mostly a front-end development effort. We do this by enabling, when you open an 8base account, you immediately have AWS infrastructure that's created for you, all of it exposed through the world's most powerful GraphQL API. So the gap in all of this for us, or at least what the roadmap dictates, is what we call App Builder, which is the tool set to build front-end applications. This is something we've been working on for the last year, and we're getting ready to release in the latter half of this year. And this will complete our entire low-code application. So people will be able to come in and build products from the front end to a fully scalable back end with the API that enables it in between. In the process of this, we've also stood up a services organization. So there's thousands of developers that are using 8base around the world, but sometimes companies want us to help as well. So we have design and development services, which provide a dog fooding exercise for us, where we're using our own platform to help people build. And it's also bootstrapping because it generates revenue in excess of 50% gross margins, which helps to fund the business without as much of a reliance on outside capital.
I'm sorry, Albert, the time is over. So yeah, thank you for your pitch. And please, questions.
Albert, 3 things. 1, just tell me about the business model. And 2, as I'm looking at for your funding goals, what's the next level? And 3, if you tell me engineers cannot bring things to life, you just made 2 million plus engineers in the USA not friendly to you. So qualify that statement, because I'm an engineer and can't bring anything to life, then what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, so the first question was the business model. So it's a freemium model. You can have limited use of 8base today, and then the pricing begins at $25 a month. And for the professional plan starts at $150. When App Builder comes online, the pricing will evolve. So this is for our backend as a service product, which is what we have today. Your second question was the funding goals. So we've raised 4.5 million so far. Most recently in $1 million price round that converted our safes. The intent is that later on this year, when we have App Builder ready to show and go to market, we'll probably raise at least a $5 million round to build out the.
No money talk, please. Yeah. Let's not talk about the money, but you have another raise in the works. Yes, sir. Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
and what's
so what my comment earlier about developers is not intended to alienate developers at all. This is actually not a pure citizen developer product. It's a product that developers can use. It's built on standards, so they're not having to learn proprietary technologies like to pick on Salesforce, their Apex language. With 8base, you're using JavaScript, GraphQL, MySQL, et cetera. These are all technologies that are standards. And the idea is that citizen developers and developers can collaborate, but the 2 million developers you mentioned in the US are in short supply and high demand. And so anytime you can do more with less, it's a good thing. And I would say it's a good thing for everyone involved, including engineers, which oftentimes are doing things that are below their pay grade and they've done for the 10th time.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Albert, what was your revenue in 2020?
Revenue in 2020 is 1.2 million. And in 2021 should be about a little over 3 million.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, we have a little bit time for one question more. So please.
What has been your revenue growth for the last 3 years?
2021. Yeah, the revenue growth over the last few years has been in excess of 100%. So our revenue in 2019 was 500 and something thousand. Okay. This year it should be 200%.
Are you profitable, sir? Are you making money?
No, great question. We're running at a modest burn.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you a lot, Albert. And it was Startup 8base. Thank you so much. And we are going to the next startup, Loopie. Please welcome John Lee.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julia, for facilitating. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah, good.
Awesome. Well, my name is John. I'm the CEO and founder of Loopie, and Loopie is a peer-to-peer tech-enabled laundry marketplace. So yes, that's right. Our goal is to create the Uber Eats for laundry. And yes, we do believe that the next billion-dollar opportunity for tech-enabled marketplaces is probably represented in the pile of dirty clothes that many of us might have on our bedroom floors or in our laundry hampers. Loopie has a mobile application for iOS and Android that we developed here in Seattle. We connect people who hate doing laundry with individuals who are looking for a way to earn additional income from the comfort of home. And that really allows us to leverage and apply the tested model of peer-to-peer and translate that for a new market vertical. So in the same way that Uber doesn't own any cabs, Loopie doesn't own any washers or dryers, yet we're able to provide an awesome experience for our customers and for our certified Loopie washers through our platform, turning piles of dirty clothes into stacks of clean folded laundry with our Loopie duffel bags. We charge a flat rate per bag. We are able to benefit from being super asset light. We think this will allow us to scale quickly to many cities that other laundry delivery services couldn't scale to because they need to invest in laundromats and laundry fulfillment centers to provide the same service. We're able to use the peer-to-peer model to provide the same exact service for a lower price point. We can have faster turnaround times. And I do believe that this peer-to-peer model translates very nicely for the universal but highly neglected market vertical of laundry delivery service. What's super exciting about what we've done so far at Loopie is we have now generated over $700,000 in early sales, despite the fact that we don't own a single washer or dryer. So showing that this is a valid approach to solving this problem. We launched to Portland and Denver recently. Our plans are to scale to Austin this summer, and hopefully we're able to continue to scale because, as you all know, laundry exists in any minor or major market. In fact, there's 1,000 loads of laundry being done in the US alone every second of every day. So needless to say, it's a massive opportunity. This is a visual of Seattle. And our belief is that just like how we've generated in our first market, there's probably a Loopie washer on any given block in any given city, and also a potential customer. With that, I think I'm right around the 3-minute mark, so I'll open it up for questions. But thank you again, Julia, for hosting the event.
Thank you a lot. And it was Loopie and its founder, John Lee. So we go to the questions, please. Feel free to ask.
For the presentation. Yeah, just curious about the liability factor. Like if someone starts washing someone else's laundry and totally destroys it, who's responsible? Who has to cover that end of things?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. And I'll say right off the bat, a company like Loopie could not exist today. 10 years ago, probably not even 5 years ago, had the other major peer-to-peer companies not paved the way forward. That being said, because people are now, and consumers are used to getting in a car with a stranger for Uber or Lyft, or staying in a stranger's house, the risk opportunity of using a platform like Loopie to outsource your laundry sort of pales in comparison. Although we do self-insure every bag, we have in our policies a way for customers to feel like if there's a worst case scenario, we're able to have their backs. We have a onboarding process for our certified Loopie washers. They need to pass a background check and pass a test order before they can sign up. And so that's really given us a great amount of control over our finished products. And we're happy to sort of have a lower average return percentage than the industry standard by a significant margin.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, John, this is Jordan. Can you run us through the economics, unit economics, acquire a customer, acquire a Loopie agent? Just real quick, boom, 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 make it efficient, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So our cost to acquire customers has averaged about $83. Those same customers have spent an average of over $500 on our platform. Every order that is placed with Loopie, we're able to retain a margin from because of our flat rate pricing model. So we don't charge per item, we don't charge per pound. And what's also exciting about our platform is we're able to acquire our suppliers, so the certified Loopie washers, for very reasonable amounts, less than $100 per washer. And our best washers have stayed with the platform for years, doing hundreds and hundreds of Loopie bags, generating, our best washers made over $1,000 last month just doing laundry from the comfort of home.
Back to you. What's the period to retain your investment in a washer? What's the period to retain your CAC for a consumer?
Yeah.
Weeks, days, yeah.
Just in terms of lifetime value, we're seeing that the average customer pays back by their third order with Loopie. So, that historically is averaged by their third month because our average transaction value is $76 or just over 2 bags.
And the Loopie agent, how long before you recover the cost to acquire one?
So if they wash 15 bags with Loopie, we will pay off the amount to acquire them. And I should mention, we do have a wait list of people looking to be washers with Loopie. as you can imagine, because of the COVID environment.
And are you profitable now, or are you just spending everything on growth?
Everything we raise is going to marketing and product. So if we were to, we have a team of developers, obviously that is adding to our burn. But if you just look at Loopie operationally, we did $50,000 or $52,000 in sales in April. And if we weren't investing in scaling to new cities, iterating on our tech stack, then we would be profitable on a per order basis. But obviously our goal is, let's go from 3 cities to 30 to 300, and that requires capital and expenditures.
Got it. What happened late 2020 that you increased your revenue substantially? Looks like you had a spike in late 2020. What happened there?
You know, I have a few theories on this. I think a big thing is just consumer trends in light of the pandemic, right? A lot of customers are showing a more willingness to use on-demand delivery services. We've also scaled to more cities. We've invested more money behind our marketing spend. And we've also just been acquiring more customers over 2020 who in turn stay with the platform and more. And so I think, you know, we'll hopefully continue to see that kind of growth moving forwards.
My biggest concern would be that you've mentioned you compared yourself to Uber, but we all know that it's kind of double-edged sword comparisons because Uber is not yet profitable. When do you think you might be profitable?
Yeah, you know, I think our vision and our mentality right now is how can we create as much value as possible to our customers and to our washers. I think, you know, based on our business model, we knew when we launched in 2018 that people had a critical eye on Uber, and this is before they IPO'd, before Lyft IPO'd and DoorDash and Airbnb, but we knew that people were, you know, concerned with the state of peer-to-peer because of those very, you know, issues you bring up, you know, the fact that Uber isn't profitable. So that's one of the reasons why from day one, we said, let's create a model that can be sustainable, that at scale, we're not hemorrhaging money for every order that's placed on our platform. And again, that's one of the reasons why we're so excited is we found a price point that we can generate margin from, significant margin from on every order, despite the fact that this is a new service. You know, we're not having to, you know, cut into our margin to for the expenses scaling.
Okay, great, fantastic. Thank you, John, for your presentation, for your pitch. And we are going to the end of our startup pitch session. So the last for today, but not least startup is BetterYou. And Sean Higgins, please welcome. Sean, are you with us?
Absolutely. Hi, Yulia, how are you?
I'm nice. Yeah, I can see your screen, so you can start.
Let's do it. I'm Sean, CEO of BetterYou. And BetterYou is a digital coach that helps people find more time for their health. It starts by mapping how our time is getting spent currently, linking that to specific goals that we care about, and then delivering real-time reminders to get folks back on track. Let's take a look. So with BetterYou, you come right into the app and you set goals. Maybe you've got goals around physical health and you're looking to get some steps, or maybe you're looking to get a good night's sleep tonight so you're not a zombie tomorrow. You could also pick goals around the social element of your life. Maybe you want to stay in contact with some friends or family members. From here, BetterYou logs your progress automatically in the background. Because my phone can give me credit for calling mom or for visiting a park near my house where I go and do cardio. We leverage this insight to provide real-time reminders. So the next time that I'm at risk of missing that call to mom over a little too much YouTube, BetterYou can be there to bring me back on track. This is what we do. So how big does this get? BetterYou targets a $5.2 billion addressable market with 2 main segments, higher education and enterprise, where we help people make the most of their time. We charge $3 per user per month. And we already work with over 60 organizations, including Florida International University and H&R Block. But more than the logos, it's the stories. helping people find more time in their quarantine, helping them build better habits around their health. And the list goes on and on. Ultimately, helping people be a more balanced version of themselves. So how have we been able to achieve this kind of meaningful change for folks? We created an app that people can stick with. At 6 months in our product, we still have over 35% of people using us 4 times a month, a number that's almost double what our industry average is. We took the worst part about wellness apps, writing things down, and we made it as easy as just having your phone on you. And when you do that, people use it. When we started the company, we had to build a great team and then a product. And while we went to market only 20 months ago, our revenues have grown and grown. And I'm thrilled to share that as of last month, we're over $33,000 in monthly recurring revenues. And so now you might be wondering, who the heck are we? We're a group of founders who have taken companies from idea to exit, PhDs from Ivy League institutions, developers, operators who have built great products. But more than that, we're a group with a shared vision that the best way to help someone be the person they want to see in the mirror tomorrow is by helping them make the most of their time today. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. It was Sean Higgins from BetterYou. And please, questions. Okay, so maybe some suggestions or comments. It's our last, yeah, please.
How do you evaluate the market that you can get?
Well, one more time, Alexander, I missed the beginning.
Yeah, how do you evaluate the market which you can get? Can you tell more us about it?
Yeah, certainly. So if I jump back to our market sizing slide here, we've got our 2 primary segments, higher education and enterprise. And so we are an established category in both, right? So in enterprise, folks are spending on corporate wellness solutions, things like Castlight, Rally Health, Virgin Pulse. And we fit into that category around the general health and well-being space. Most folks that have at least 200 employees are investing in wellness. That's when they'll get into large group insurance or they'll become self-insured, which is really where the health of your people becomes a line item for your business on the expense side. We see enterprise as about 80% of our total addressable market, simply because they have a higher willingness to pay that we've seen in our annual revenue per account. Schools are very important. They were where we started. We got a substantial user base through that higher education segment. And it's a great route to try out and get our feet under us. But ultimately, we see that enterprise segment kind of compiling a larger chunk of the TAM.
And what do you think will be your growth rate this year, 21 to 20?
Yep, so we grew last year at over 3x. This year, we'll end the year at just over $84,000 in monthly recurring revenue. We started the year in the 20s, so mid-20s, so we'll be about another 3x year for us.
Okay, thank you very much. Great.
Do you see FSA, getting approval from FSA as something interesting for you to explore?
FSA?
Flexible spend health accounts or
Oh,
HSA
yes,
or FSA?
yes, absolutely. So HSA is the one I'm most familiar with. So I think it is interesting for us to kind of explore some other routes to get the product in the hands of the user. We're B2B to C, so it's not an app that you can go and kind of download on your own. But partnering with different providers, whether it's an HSA, whether it's an insurer themselves, is really interesting. We're actually right now finalizing a partnership with one of the largest insurers in the US. And the route there would be that they would take us directly to the employers that they're serving in one state. It's not everybody, but it's a great starting point. And we think that channel can be a great accelerator for our growth.
So what is your biggest differentiator compared to other players in the market? And also the second question, maybe relevant, related to the question is, why do you think you have a higher retention rate compared to other wellness companies?
No, those are great questions. And I like it because they're interrelated. The first part, differentiation, the biggest thing is no manual entry. If you've ever used MyFitnessPal, you found yourself going in and entering, hey, I was this, I went to the pool today. Hey, I'm doing that, I'm doing the other. When we chatted with individuals, the top reason they gave up on health apps was that You had to go in and write things down every day. It became a chore. People forget, people misenter things. And so we said, hey, let's leverage that power of the phone to give you credit for making a phone call to a friend, for visiting a gym, leveraging location, for getting to bed at a reasonable time and maybe shutting Netflix off a little early. And through those pieces, we created something that was the default. All I had was my phone on me and I was able to log my health. And we see that as one of the main drivers that folks are able to have that initial success with the product. In terms of the long-term success, it's the outcomes. 38% of folks on our app after 1 month who picked a sleep goal, we're seeing an increase of 30 minutes per night. And so when you're able to have wins like that for a good chunk of the population, it gives them confidence and motivation to keep using the product. So I think it all stems from that low, no manual entry component.
Great, good job, Sean. And you can ask questions to private chat. Do not forget to do it. And okay, we end the startup pitch session. It was the last participant. And
I
in a
liked
few
it.
minutes,
I
yeah.
liked it. So no more startups from Silicon Valley. I like everything I heard. And I wrote down a couple guys I have to check out even for myself.
Do you wanna be better, Anna?
Of course, every minute I'm working on it. And thank you, Julia. This is great. Dear judges, don't forget to vote. We have 1.5 minutes before we close the voting, and choose who you believe in that is worth represent Silicon Valley, because Jordan is looking at us and hoping that we will pick the best ones. Right, Jordan?
Yes, we want to win it again.
Jordan, your avatar again flew to Mars. So
He's an invisible man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Anna, this was the best spread of startups that I saw today. Really amazing. From all the pitch sessions that I've attended so far in the Silicon Valley, this was, I think, by far the best.
Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you, Julia. That was for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And dear judges, there is one more game we want you to play. We are doing all our little surveys, as you remember, all over the world, and you're helping us to explore more deeply what's going on in venture industry. So pick the best answer that suits you personally and push submit, and we will talk about it some more during the networking sessions. So please do that. And we are about to announce the winners. Julia, do you know who won the Unicorn Battle in Silicon Valley today?
Oh, yeah. In a few minutes, I guess we will know who is the winner of today's battle, but we should wait a little bit more. So.
Really? Because I already know who the winner is. And everybody who will reload our event page will do so also. That was a spoiler. Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so here we are. Okay, so the winner of today's battle. The third place goes to Articulate Labs. My congratulations.
Right from New York to Silicon Valley and won it. Good.
Yeah, good job.
Later on, later. Huh?
Okay.
Amazing. So the second place goes to the CH4 Global Inc. My congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the winner of today's battle in Silicon Valley is 8base. Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. So really good job, guys. Thank you for pitching today. It was amazing, and we appreciate a lot your participation in our battles. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julia. Let's talk a little with judges. Congratulations to the 8-base. Jordan, did you expect that? Are you happy with the winner?
I'm always happy when the Americans win, but it's good. I think Albert did a good job presenting. I think the value proposition he brings back is clear and obvious and well articulated. I also think it's achievable. What he's trying to get to within the next 2 or 3 years is well within his reach. So that's why I support it.
So you're confident about the World Finals, right?
We have to talk.
Okay. And we will do that. Okay, that's wonderful. Let's see what our expert board is thinking about how to approach Silicon Valley investors. Pitch at Unicorn.Events. I love you guys. You are the best as ever. And it really close, ask other startup or VC for an intro. Okay, so it still works. The old way works. Make friends with them on LinkedIn, send them personal emails, and try to hunt them down at the coffee shop. Aha. You are going, there are still people in a Silicon Valley that are not afraid to go to the coffee shop and they talk to the startups while staying in line. Tell us, what's going on in Silicon Valley? Purvi, we haven't seen you for a while. Maybe.
Yes, I can tell you that pretty much since February, I've been going out. It's the weather got better, there were heaters, and I am definitely not a Zoom person. I love to get out and meet people. So I'm out a lot.
Startups hunt you down in a coffee shop and pitch you?
I wouldn't say hunt me down, but definitely I would say that people will make warm introductions, and it's easy if you're in Palo Alto to say, I will be at this coffee shop, pop in and say hi, right? Just putting a face to the
Did
idea.
Anything change, like for because of the COVID, or it's still the same?
No, I think what I am noticing is that a quick call on Zoom as a first step has been helpful. So whenever somebody wants to connect, you just, even if it's a 15-minute call, you get on Zoom and you talk to them. And then, you know, if it's interesting, then you say, okay, I will be in Palo Alto, come meet me here. I shouldn't rule out Zoom, but I think that for me, conversion is made in person much more than on a Zoom call.
Okay, so I remember that next time we will in Palo Alto, we'll be sure to interact in a coffee shop. Yes, but what was your pick in our survey? What did?
So I picked Unicorn Battle, Pitch at the Battle.
Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, this is really good. I love it because like we have, this is true. We are watching in a Crunchbase how our startups do that pitch with us. And it's officially that they raised 296 million. And there are probably many, many more who are not in a Crunchbase and or didn't report yet. But so we are doing good in this. And also I was going over Crunchbase news, and this quarter number 1 in 2021 over the US is the best one ever over all time. 67 million raised by startups only in the US, and still Silicon Valley on the top of all. 37% of it belongs to you guys in Silicon Valley. So you are on the top of the world and nothing comes close to you. New York is somewhere on the second place. So you're still doing good. Jordan, are you happy with the news?
Actually, the funding from Silicon Valley has dropped significantly in the last year. The percentage of how much is from the Valley has dropped tremendously, a good 27%.
But this record of the fundraising, why did this happen if you're saying that it dropped?
The percentage dropped, the number has risen as a total. Being in the first spot is important to me. So we're not as distant from the rest of the competition. It's clear the Zoom culture has helped funding. Like the lady before me spoke, Zoom has allowed us to break the first initial contact. So there isn't a need to take a half-hour trip to talk to somebody for a half hour. It's a 3-minute trip. Boom, boom. If you like it, then you go to the next level. Extremely useful, this Zoom thing, and I hope it stays. I hope it allows us to connect efficiently, effectively, and if there's time to invest between them and the investor and vice versa, then you can do the coffee and whatever. So it's been a blessing in many, many ways.
Thank you, Jordan. Sorry, Ella left. I wanted to ask her how is going on in Santa Clara from that side of the Bay Area. But oh, Ella, you're still with us. How wonderful! Tell us, how is it? How is it in the Bay Area from the northern side? Is it getting? How do startups raise? Do they approach you in Zoom? Do they try to get interest to get introduced to you? Do they write you notes in the LinkedIn? How have been they approaching you lately? Oh, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself to talk.
Yeah, sorry, I have to take off like in 3 minutes. I will be really quick. So I would say you definitely see a big changing trend after the whole pandemic. So before we keep also reaching out before the pandemic, definitely from this from the LinkedIn, from Anjali's online channel, plus also a lot of companies who would walk into our building and then want to chat with the investor, chat with our team, and then want to have a conversation. We receive like applicants like this format all the time. And after pandemic, I would say I receive I have more interest in healthcare, so I would say the percentage of the healthcare company I receive from a big number of total applicants are much like a increase compared to before. Generally speaking, I would say a lot of them are not really coming from the sector. So I also really appreciate their flexibility during the whole pandemic. Try to, in order to survive, they are being really smart and also strategic, try to figure out a way to generate the revenue during this time, jump into the space. But I would say a lot of times they are lack of also some key elements or key things in order to a success, no matter what stage you are at. But I would say if you want to be really successful talking with investor or the fundraising, you want to be hunting down. So like if you want to be proactively reach out by us, by investors, so attending a really big impact to attend a huge global competition events that can make a big splash global and make a huge influence, such as you guys, will be the best way to do it. So this is really the biggest advice I want to give to the startup company.
Thank you, Ella. You are very kind. Have a great day ahead. We'll let you go to another meeting. Thank you. It was great seeing you. And this is really interesting because I have read also in the pitch book that the impact of the virtual events, like the ones we are doing online, is growing constantly. So Alexander, congratulations again. When you said, okay, guys, lockdown, let's move from offline to online, and we had to do everything quickly, you knew that it will stay for such a long time, or you wanted us to try something new? What was your
vision? You did not have choice, Anna. You did not have. So
but it was a good one. I think like we would like.
You agree that you are dreaming about offline event yet?
Yes, especially in Silicon Valley. Yes, I do.
Okay.
We will be there also sometime. And Gary, you're still in Florida, right?
I'm actually in Key West at my place down here right now. So
why did you escape Silicon Valley? Any particular
Well, because
reason?
when COVID came up, I happened to have a place in Palm Beach. And so I went over there. I didn't realize that I wasn't going to be able to get back for some time. So my car was actually in my office for 4 months because of COVID. And then I got somebody to pull it in the garage. But, I just want to say, Anna, what you've been able to do over the last year during the most tumultuous times on the planet is, unbelievable. I can tell you from my standpoint, from last year to this year, I now have 6 African startups. And I've seen incredible opportunities. A lot of it's because of the introduction and the visibility we've been able to get, through the Unicorn events. And having this, going through this digital transformation on a global basis has really democratized the opportunity. We have to remember that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities aren't. So for whatever reach we are in the Ukraine and Russia and India, the ability to be able to mine those incredible opportunities now upon us. And you're right about the first couple of calls are done directly with Zoom and then meeting set up. But I got to tell you, we're cutting deals without ever meeting with those folks now. And with amazing opportunities from Germany, from Africa, from the Ukraine, you name it. So this is upon us, and it's going to slow down a little bit as people are so crazy from being cooped up, as Purvi said. They want to get out, and myself, I miss being in Palo Alto. And on Saturdays, I see Tim Cook over at the Starbucks on El Camino, and it was kind of nice, talking to him every once in a while, and I miss it. But at the same time, the world's really opened up for us all that have been able to take advantage of it. And Alexander, Anna, Julia, you've done a great job of being able to keep the world open for these startups over the last year and keep people happy and give them a purpose in the darkest time.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. Oh, so
Thank you
nice,
so much.
guys. Yeah, you're so inspiring. Thank you so much. And the only thing I have left before I say goodbye to all of you is to invite you all to our Unicorn Cup, the World Finals. We know all the 8 finalists for the spring season. Check them out at our website and be sure to be there next Thursday. It will be a whole day event. We start from 9 o'clock London time, and it will be the first pitch session, and the second pitch session will be starting 9 o'clock San Francisco time. So the startups will pitch twice for the investors, for the Asian investors, European investors, and then American investors. So you don't need to wake up in the middle of the night, our dear Americans. You will get to see it all at your time zone. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Julia, for this great event. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It was so much like to see you today. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you, Anna.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.